It was a hot summer afternoon when the HOA security team made a reckless decision that would soon backfire spectacularly. They had attempted to stop my daughter while she was conducting tactical exercises near our property line, claiming she was violating community rules. What they didn't realize was that my daughter wasn't just an ordinary teenager. She was an FBI tactical commander in training, with extensive field experience and federal authority. Their interference was not only unlawful but profoundly dangerous. I watched as two overconfident HOA officers approached her, pointing fingers and issuing orders for her to leave the area. She stood her ground calmly, maintaining a defensive posture and communicating via secure channels to confirm backup. I had instructed her in advance on protocol. Any interference with her duties, especially by untrained and unauthorized civilians, would be handled decisively and professionally. When the officers tried to physically block her path, she used a combination of tactical positioning, situational awareness, and verbal command protocols to assert control over the encounter. Every movement, every approach by the HOA personnel was recorded by her body cams and the perimeter surveillance system I had installed. The officers, realizing they were being documented and that the individual they were confronting had federal authority, hesitated, but their hubris was not easily broken. I arrived on the scene shortly after, presenting property deeds and documentation of my ownership of the land where the exercises were taking place. I calmly reminded the officers that any attempt to interfere with federal operations or my daughter's legally sanctioned activities could have severe legal consequences, including charges of obstruction of justice and trespassing. Karen, naturally, was at the forefront of this fiasco. She insisted that her HOA authority gave her the right to enforce community standards, completely unaware that her claims were not only invalid but potentially criminal. My daughter, maintaining professionalism and control, coordinated with local law enforcement and federal contacts to ensure the situation was handled lawfully. Deputies arrived and, after reviewing the extensive documentation, confirmed that the HOA personnel had no jurisdiction and had acted recklessly. The HOA officers were ordered off the property and warned that any future attempts to interfere with my daughter's exercises or the ranch would result in immediate legal action. Karen, humiliated and flustered, attempted to argue but had no legal standing. Her influence within the HOA plummeted as neighbors and board members realized the severity of her repeated overreach. To prevent future incidents, I implemented enhanced security measures, biometric entry points, motion sensors along key property lines, and reinforced surveillance systems covering all approaches to the training area. Any unauthorized attempt to access the property would trigger immediate alerts and legal responses. The incident also served as a cautionary tale for the community. HOA members began questioning Karen's repeated abuses of authority, recognizing that interfering with federally trained personnel, or anyone with documented property rights, carried serious consequences. Karen's reputation deteriorated further as her attempts to intimidate were clearly both reckless and unlawful. By the end of the summer, the property was secure, exercises continued uninterrupted, and Karen had learned, once again, that entitlement and imagined authority could not override legal rights, federal authority, and careful preparation. My daughter's status as an FBI tactical commander ensured that any future interference would be met with swift, decisive, and legally supported action. The ranch became a symbol of preparedness, authority, and resilience. Karen's repeated overreach had been decisively neutralized, leaving her humiliated and aware that any further attempts to challenge property rights or federal authority would carry immediate, severe consequences. My property, my family, and our operations remained fully protected, as did the integrity and safety of the individuals conducting legitimate, sanctioned activities on the land.